Hola, ¿cómo están ustedes? How are you guys? Actually, what I should ask is, ¿cómo se llaman? What do you guys call yourselves? Yo me llamo Jonathan. I call myself Jonathan. Today, we're going to be talking about reflexive verbs. Let's go ahead and take a look. So if we have our subject pronouns, yo, tú, él, ella, it, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes, you guys can probably guess what these mean, right? Yo means I. Tú means you. Él means he. Ella means she. Nosotros means we. Vosotros means you guys in Spain. Ellos, they. Ellas, they if they're females. Ustedes is you guys in Latin America. And so remember in our first videos, we talked about these subject pronouns and these endings for the verbs, for regular verbs. These are the endings that we use. So please go back and watch those videos, but here they are for reference in this video. For reflexive verbs, like llamarse, we use these reflexive pronouns. If it's the yo form, we say me, as in me llamo. For the tú form, we say te, as in te llamas. For if I'm saying you, like usted, which is you formal, it's se llama. Or if he or she calls his or herself, it'll be se llama. Él se llama Samuel. His name is Samuel. If it's the nosotros form, we use nos. If it's the vosotros form, os. And if it's ellos, ellas, or ustedes, we also use se. And so I've broken that down here. Yo, me, nosotros, nos, tú, te, vosotros, os. Él, ella, ellos, ellas, ustedes, se. And here's an example verb, the one that we're already familiar with, because this is probably the first thing you learn in Spanish. You just didn't know it was a reflexive verb. Llamarse, me llamo, I call myself. Te llamas, you call yourself. Se llama, nos llamamos, os llamáis, se llaman. All right, let's jump right into it. In Spanish, we have a lot of reflexive verbs. I'm not going to read all of these, but you can pause it and read them all or write them down. I've also included them in these flashcards. Let me go ahead and show you this really fast. Let's see here. So these are the flashcards that I've made. If you click on flashcards, then you can quiz yourself, right? And I've made different flashcards for every single video that I've done. This is where we were doing the boot verbs. You can go back and check out that video. Then later on, I did the irregular verbs, right? So traigo is the yo form of traer, I bring. Traigo, valer, to be worth, valgo. Anyway, you guys can check these out. I'll leave them down in the description or down in the comments below. And then I also, for homework, I want you guys to watch this video in Spanish, is Peppa Pig in Spanish, and then do the exercises that I'm going to put in the comments below. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and go to my Facebook page, El Español Amigo, and you can like it and follow it and send me a message and set up sessions with me if you want. All right, so let's get back into it. So these reflexive pronouns, they can go before the verb, or sometimes they can be attached at the end of the verb. I want to talk about that. So when a verb is conjugated, if it's reflexive, the reflexive pronoun will go before the verb. Like when you say, como te llamas, well, the reflexive pronoun se becomes te because it's in the tú form, and it goes before llamas because that is the conjugated form of llamar to the second person singular. Llamas, you. Nos llamamos la familia Brown. We call ourselves the Brown family. Alicia se levanta. Levantarse is a different verb. It means to get up. A las 8, at 8. She gets up at 8. Te levantas a las 8. You get up at 8. Now, if there's two verbs, sometimes you'll have two verbs. The first one will be conjugated and the second one will be in the infinitive, in which case you can either put the reflexive pronoun before the conjugated verb, or you can put it at the end, attached to the end of the infinitive verb. So for example, quiero means I want, levantarme, to get up. Quiero levantarme. But you can also put this me on the other side, right before quiero. Me quiero levantar. Both of them are correct, and they're both used in Spanish. Elizabeth se quiere levantar. Elizabeth quiere levantarse. So they both mean the same thing. The only difference is the reflexive pronoun gets attached to the end right here, and then over here, we have it going before the conjugated verb. You also have this with gerunds. That's the ing in Spanish, which is normally used with the verb estar, right? So estoy llamándome Jonathan means I am calling myself Jonathan, or in other words, my name is Jonathan. Me estoy llamando Jonathan. So let's say like I'm in a play or something, and in the play, I'm going to be calling myself Jonathan. I don't know. It's just an example. Nos estamos mudando. I am moving. Estamos mudándonos. We are moving. You can put the nos right here before estamos, or you can put it here attached to the end of the gerund, mudándonos. Same thing with this one. Juan se está durmiendo, or Juan está durmiéndose. So here's the reflexive pronoun. All right. So now let's do a little homework assignment. Conjugate the verbs and the reflexive pronouns in accordance with the subject in each sentence. Follow the model. So the model says, yo acostarse en la noche. So what's the yo form of acostar? Yeah, acuesto. And then this se right here has to go before the conjugated verb. So it's me acuesto en la noche. Whoops, there should be a period there. All right. Now, what's number one going to be? It says, Luisa quitarse el abrigo. So, because Luisa is doing it, it'll be se quita el abrigo. Because if you have Luisa, that's ella. Ella, let me change the color here. Ella, so it's Luisa, ella. It's the third person singular, the lower left-hand box. Quitar is an AR verb, so it's a, and then the reflexive pronoun is se. So let's go back over here. Luisa se quita el abrigo. Easy enough, right? Okay, now let's see number two. George ponerse el abrigo. George se pone el abrigo. Number three. What's it going to be? Laura confundirse. It'll be Laura se confunde. And then number four. Mi mamá se maquilla. Number five. Pedro se casa con Elizabeth. Casarse means to get married. When you marry someone, in Spanish, you marry yourself to someone. Pedro marries himself with Elizabeth. Number six, yo, so it has to be me. Siento triste. Don't forget to review those boot verbs, the stem changing boot verbs that are in the flashcards, and also the video that was with it. Number seven, nosotros, so it's nos sentimos felices. We feel happy. Ellos se ríen mucho. Ustedes se contagian de la tos. That's a cold. You guys get sick from the cold. Contagiarse is a reflexive verb that means to get sick. It's kind of like contagious. Contagiarse, it's turning in, it's a verb, a reflexive verb. And then this last one is an easy one, llamarse. Yo, llamarse, Jonathan can only be yo me llamo Jonathan. Notice I don't have to put yo, it's already implied with me llamo, it's the yo form. But it's not incorrect to put it. It might sound a little bit redundant, but there it is. All right. Now, what if you have two verbs? So let's take a look at this one. Conjugate the reflexive verbs. Since there are two verbs, write the answers in two ways, with the reflexive pronoun before the conjugated verb and then attached to the end of the verb. Make all other changes necessary. Follow the model. So we have yo estar, levantarse. This is a gerund. Yo estoy levantándome. Since there's two verbs, I can put it at the end of the gerund, or I can put it before the conjugated verb. Yo me estoy levantando. And they both mean exactly the same thing. So let's go ahead and look at these answers here. Number one, Pedro no querer enojarse. Enojarse means to get mad. He doesn't want to get mad. He doesn't want to get himself upset. So Pedro no quiere enojarse, or Pedro no se quiere enojar. They both mean the exact same thing. And then we have Juana y Jenny necesitar prepararse. So we have Juana y Jenny necesitan prepararse, or Juana y Jenny se necesitan preparar. What do you think number three is going to be? Go ahead and pause it and see if you can get it before I put it up. Nosotros solo queremos divertirnos. Nosotros solo nos queremos divertir. What about number four? Tú y Samuel. So that's you guys. Ustedes pueden irse. Or tú y Samuel se pueden ir. You guys can go. Yoni no quiere confundirse. Yoni no se quiere confundir. Tú necesitas detenerte. You need to stop. Tú te necesitas detener. You can say it both ways. And finally, yo estoy durmiéndome. Yo me estoy durmiendo. All right. Be sure to do the homework and put any questions that you have in the comments below and put your answers in the comments below. Muchas gracias y nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.